Yo, what's up? We're back for another game, starting off with Vulpix versus Muck. And just to give you a rundown of what we're doing Berserk Quirks Little Cup LC. Here you can see the pure power or huge power Dudunsparce here. And what we have is Little Cup Mons with a few exceptions of NFE with some crazy abilities, random abilities. Starting off with the teams here, of course they already started the lead, but we know that Voltorb has Forewarn, and Cutiefly can have something like Misty Surge or Shield Dust, but since Misty Surge hasn't popped up, it might after I press play. It likely has Shield Dust. Other than that, we have Alolan Vulpix and their Alolan Vulpix team, Vulpix City, and they have Purifying Salt, which I really can't see unless, you know, they're trying to avoid Toxic from any of these mons here possibly. And versus Muck and Muckacy team, which have Unaware, which could be for like Bulk Up Timber, Coil, maybe even Rock Polish that, or I don't think this gets a nasty fight, but just in case it boosts up. So let's go ahead and play. Misty Surge does go up, and Volt Switch comes out doing huge damage. Now, if they get webs up, they do have a defogger in the form of Timber, and webs do come up. So there's a switch out, and Earthquake comes in heavy. Earthquake probably would have killed that Cutiefly, or helped come in on that Sandshrew, if it was to switch in on something like a Poison move. So good move here by Muck, good mid-ground. Nightshade hits their whole team. And then we have the switch out into Stunky. We have the knockoff doing crazy damage to a dark type, Focus Sash. So this probably has like T-Spike on it somewhere down the line. Drain Punch knocks that out, and Slurp. Timbers at a good amount of HP, half up. So Whelmer with the Rizzle here gets hit by the Mach Punch before the Weather Ball comes out. So that's pretty smart on Muck here. They very well do have maybe a Scarf variant, maybe even Choice Specs with webs up. But it was smart on Vulpix here to Mach Punch to dampen the damage from the Damp Dowser. Either way, it was smart on Muck to use Weather Ball, which gives a 100 power base power move, and the rain doing damage, damn damage, enough damage to knock out their half HP Timber. So good move between the both of them there. So it's one down a piece, 5-5. Mora comes in here, and we can tell that it's rocking heavy duty boots because it did not get dropped there. And likely sturdy since it's coming in on Whelmer's water type attack, which is likely choice locked. But okay, we can already tell that if any speed stuff happened here, Miracle Coat came into play, meaning negative speed, so this is gonna die. So good prep on Vulpix. And do we see the Mirror Coat? Of course, and you're going down. So Muck comes in here to revenge, depending on the speed here. Likely Fake Out to guarantee, but Drain Punch is there. I do want to see the speeds, 210 and 240. Good move. Alright, Linton comes in, drops speed, and another Drain Punch, taking it down to half. Acrobatics is smart there. I'm not sure if that was the boosted. I'm pretty sure this would have said if it was or not. Then we have the Drain Punch to KO and get it up under half. Still in the yellow, but all things are pretty evened out. The Sticky Webs is doing mad work for Muck here. Drain Punch doing dang near 3/4, and Discharge fails to get the kill, and Drain Punch keeps him on heal. looking bad for Alolan Alolan Vulpix. Clear body there, so it doesn't get dropped. This could very well be a reversal. And we have the Poison Terra catching that, and likely you have something for the Sandshrew, like a fire type move. Superpower rather, hitting on the physical side. So this very well might be physical or mixed. It does have a drop in defense, so if this has fake out, it's going to do damage. So good move on Vulpix to switch that out. Checking the Frisk, and it is choice band, so likely no fake outs. And Psycho Cut's going to hurt here. Granted, this is not dropped in speed, but it is still slower. And yeah, I think this is going to be game. Psycho Cut does not one-hit KO off the band, boosted stab move. And then we have a 74% Dust Bolt. If we hit like a flinch maybe, but we are physical. So I believe after a Nightshade, you're gonna drop. And yeah, good match here. This was very back and forth. I very much like that game. But yeah. Alright, let's check out the teams here. From Vulpix, we had Thermal Exchange, Bulky Variant, Adamant off the Timber, Drain Punch, Mach Punch, Defog for those webs. Unfortunately, didn't get those webs off. That might have costed them the game. But we'll never know. Litten with the Focus Sash, with Steam Engine. Possibly, I can't see anything on this team that's brought using a fire or water type move, aside from Litten, which that is Litten, so I'm looking at the wrong team. So Whelmer, and it was Terra type Grass, so that was a pretty cool move. Grass Terra into the Whelmer, water move into the +6. Had Trailblaze just to hit that, as well as Acrobatics, Focus Sash. So it's probably relying on it getting hit by the Whelmer or something else. Like, yeah, definitely the Whelmer. But as a non-terror, Outrage to hit everything once probably Sandshrew and Cutie Fly go down. Fire Fang to hit basically those two. DNO with the Eviolite, Clear Body to avoid the speed drops, Lonely Nature, so a bulkier variant, plus, and I think minus in speed, plus attack, minus speed. I might be tripping. Either way, Outrage, Crunch, Terror Blast, Superpower, Physical Attacker, Heavy Duty Boots on that, bulkier variant, Mirror Coat, smart move, I love that. And it had the built-in Focus Sash with Sturdy. Stealth Rock didn't go up as well, but it did what it did. It took out Whelmer. Ekans Choice Band with the EQ, Gunk Shot, Switcheroo, T-Spikes. So that was pretty smart with it being a Switcheroo Choice Band. And then having that EQ, knowing it would kill that weakened Cutie Fly. Voltorb, Magnet doing damage. Taunt Lead, pretty standard with the dual stab. So let's look at Muck's team. So we had, they tried to hide the stats, but unfortunately you didn't pluralize it. Choice Band doing damage, once again with the Trick, Psycho Cut. Metatype is, yeah, Psychic and Fighting. So it did have the Stab Psycho Cut, but it didn't get the kill off. Of course, the Choice Scarf, 2 water moves, 3 water moves, Jenga, Tic-Tac-Toe, all the things. Sandshrew, Alola, Citrus Berry, Stamina, Curse, Gyro Ball, EQ, Ice Crash, missing the 4 EVs, Cutie Fly, Focus Sash to get up the Sticky Web, as well as Max Attack, Modest Nature to do some damage. Stunky, Focus Sash to get off Toxic, maybe even 2 hits with Gunk Shot, and if it is slower, Sucker Punch to have that +1 priority. Dust Skull, Eviolite, Lingering Aroma, Will-O-Wisp, Nightshade, Pain Split, Trick Room. Alright, and let's move on to the next game. Alright, so game 2 here, we have Lucky, who happens to be getting replaced soon. So hope everything well with Lucky. And we have Queen here and their team of Little Critters versus Lucky's Lost Boys. And we have Well-Baked Body here. Can't see it coming out in use here unless it's like Will-O-Wisp. We're catching a random Terra Blast Fire. And then we have Ice Scales off of Queen, which could come in handy with the Noibat if they fear that, or the Helioptile. Alright, so leads here, I can see Noibat, maybe even Tinkatink here. Noibat hits with the Flying type as well as the Protean. I don't think it comes into play here much. Yeah, their team can be quite frail, but also bulky since they're kind of on the slower side. Lead from here, I could see Tarantula, Quentin Tarantino here. Possibly even a Scarf lead between these two. And let's go ahead and play it off. So we see the lead Tangela versus the lead Tarantula. Unfortunately, we don't have the Terra types here yet. They're supposed to be playing in the format of Terra Preview. So Noibat is Dragon and Tink is Ghost. And on the opposing side, Clamperl is normal? I guess normal for, no, I can't see why. Unless it's trying to avoid a Ghost type move. But yeah, sure. Terra normal, supposedly Sleep Powder on the miss and the sub. So Spider-Man is already in a threatening place. Got up dual hazards and sub and got out of there. Protean's gonna do a good amount of damage, fire type, but the water move. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Let's go back real quick. Okay. So boom. Heat Wave. Okay, so this is Scarf Clam. That waterfall went before the Noibat. That's what I was just trying to confirm. So switch out there is, of course, anything but expected. Even with the webs, we still have fast stuff. So Sludge Bomb, that's going to 2-hit KO Spider-Man, unless Spider-Man goes out forward. But we see the switch. So maybe they were slower. This still isn't the fastest thing. 152 versus Tangela's 240. Not going to do the math, but likely could have stayed in and just got the kill off. Now it is gonna show its last move, which is Memento. So that could have been avoided possibly. So you gotta switch out again. Take the Fire Punch. And it is Stakeout boosted because this has Stakeout. So he's gonna take him out back after this next bludgeoning, but it is sleep. What did I miss? I missed the Sleep Powder here. Okay, so not dead on arrival, but still putting in mad work with the effect Spore. So Sludge Bomb does not do much. I guess there wasn't a grass move on the Tangela here. Yep, there was. So grass move probably would have been better, especially since you go down next turn. You could have been prevented from dying. Sludge Bomb really didn't hit anything much aside from this and that. Now Cubone gets another kill because of it. Pretty big flub on Lucky's part here. and rocks go up, so they have basically full hazards minus spikes or the still spikes. And Cubone Earthquake again into another Earthquake. So this Cubone, if it is faster then -1 is going to take the dub here. And unfortunately, the Cubone misses out on one. The Helio type, whatever, this guy, probably Scarf, but some maybe that is too. We'll look at Lucky's team first. So it was Scarf, called that. The Surf was there to hit the Cubone. Dark Pulse might have been better, but it still forced this in regardless. So you still get the flinch chance versus Surf, no flinch. Togepi, Natural Cure, which protects set, thick, Choice Band, Flame Charge, just to keep boosting up on that. Flare Blitz, Rock Blast, Noibat, Boots, Draco, Heat Wave, U-Turn, Roost, Tingatink, Eviolite, Scrappy, bulky variant here to get off the rocks and annoy stuff. Protect to Scout, and Tangler with the thick, pretty standard set. Yeah, I think Lucky definitely flubbed here. The outcome could have been very much different in terms of score possibly, but still well played by Queen and their little critters. Spider-Man did work, clicked every button that it had speed. Skull Bull with the Thick Club had speed, Jolly Nature to maximize on that web. And I don't think I saw removal. Noibat might have defog if I recall. Bramblin, Eviolite, Leech Seed, Sub, Protects, Rapid Spin, so to get rid of hazards and be a threat or annoying. Speed again with the Eviolite, again with the Scarf, the somewhat bulky variant having 76 speed, likely to outspeed their entire team, so I called that right too. Flip Turn, Crunch, Waterfall, Sub, unsure about that, maybe to come in on a knockoff. Interesting though. Coin Goblin with the Focus Sash, Speed variant again, Timid with the Terra Blast, Hex to pull off of the T-Spike, and Nasty Plot as well. Then we have Shell Bell with Choice Scarf, I called that as well, hitting the physical nature as well as having some mix in there. And it is Terra type normal for the return. So cool stuff. I love that. That was pretty heat. Didn't get to really pull it off. But let's move on to our next battle. Alright, just popped me open some water. Let me wet my gullet here while we look at the teams. So we have Zenith versus MJ. They're Merciless Mercenaries versus the Dwelling Dwebbles. Good alliterations there. Swift Swim on MJ's team, don't see it coming in really. Versus the Magic Guard potential of Zenith's team, and I don't really see that in play possibly, unless like Brave Bird or some junk. As far as leads, I could see MJ leading a plethora of things. Honestly, any of these. This will probably stay in the back to defog since it is brought. So I could see maybe them leading Hazards or Snivy. They seem to love Snivy lead. As opposingly, I could see a possible Choice Scarf Rufflet or getting up Webs, because I don't know if this has defog, but I know this does for sure. So yeah, that's gonna be in the back. Another lead could be Ponard and get off some hefty damage. So let's go and see what's led. Got the spin right and the Snivy. Alright, and we see the Terra types here, Ghost, and the other Terra type being Grass, and then opposing would be Dragon, and yeah. So, pretty dope. let's go back here. Well, let's knock this out real quick. So this had agility. I'm guessing just in case for these two leads. I can't really tell what the item would be, but this is basically still the same speed. So nothing turned, but this could miss out. Webs is up, knockoff is off, Eviolite is down, and that moved around. So Hex comes in, no Wisp, and runs out. Intimidate, you got the knockoff, knocking off another Eviolite. And the Brick Break, good Brick Break. Good to have those webs up too, because I believe Sandile is naturally faster, which it is. Could have also been a bulkier variant, but compensating for the 2 attacks with the -1 attack, regardless it gets dropped. So this is in here. If this is Defiant, that is great because Defiant is on pawn art. It could also have the Tough Claws to do as much damage as it did do to Anakin at -1. However, if this defogs, this is +1. So let's see what transcends here. So the switch out and the defog. So the Fury attack, you see the Flame Body because it's not stamina. So there goes webs. I would just kept this in the back. I think that is quite a blunder because yeah, you keep getting up webs, but you're paralyzed too. So I wouldn't have knocked off here. I would have just spammed the webs button because then you either drop Roost, you show off information, or you keep webs up if you don't get paralyzed. But webs might not even be needed here. They do have the naturally faster team, but they have the naturally frailer team. So that gets dropped. Let me see the water compaction. Nice. All right, so Horn Leech hits, kills, drops, heals. We have the +2, another Horn Leech. Oh, okay, cool. Hold up. So now we know that this is Scarf because it did outspeed there. It is, however, burned. Not sure if that will make any difference to weakening the team. This could very well boost up. And this might get dropped soon. Nice. Let's keep it going. So the switch out there, this likely takes another kill, unless this is Terrifier, which is not, and the Lumberry gets popped. So knockoff makes your item drop. So you had heavy duty boots, no longer do you. Skittle comes in to take a kill, or to hit KO possibly. So here's a Horn Leech. Depending on the roll, yeah, no, that's dead. That's dead AF. So very well from Ty here, Zenith. So Fury attack comes out. I think this is Roost, yeah. So probably could have stayed in with Skittle. The sub comes out, and I believe this could stay. Okay, so maybe not necessarily a misplay because you don't lose anything from doing it, but you know that has defog, Fury attack, U-turn, and from here you see that it's Roost. So turn 23, you check it out. It has Roost. You sub, and you could just stay behind sub and spam whatever you have. Regardless, even though if it's dual stab, you don't hit this, you waste its Roost turns, right? But maybe there's something behind here that doesn't want to get PP stalled. So I can understand that. But then you just gave yourself a free 24 damage. U-turn comes out here. This could be a Reed, this could be Scarf, this could be Glare, and Paralyze. So if this is given Subseed, there's the seeds, and not moving, this could definitely make a comeback. Luke is using the force. U-turn does not take the course of action of dropping that. That makes it special attack up higher because of stab, but that gets dropped and that gets turned out. So that was a little bit scary, but still attack. I meant normal attack into still wouldn't do nothing. So good job, Blade, slaying whatever vampires that MJ may have brought. So let's look at Ty's team. Okay, so we see the mental herb, agility, sticky web, knockoff, bug buzz. In case these two are taunt, pretty much, likely living with whatever investment that it did have. So I could see that in consideration. Agility means you get off your sticky web or maybe even a bug buzz, depending on your investment. Knockoff, it did work. Good job, stamina spinner. Alright, so galvanize, rufflet with the life orb, U-turn, close combat, dual wing beat, agility, hitting hard. That would have nullified the glare, so that's pretty great. Thermal exchange means it can come in on this if it's wisp or maybe the fire attack move for something like a Ponard, and get a +1 and be that much more even scarier. Sandagast with the Eviolite, neutralizing gas. So yeah, this really couldn't hit that. It could have spammed toxic, but you would be wasting some, but you only have 2. But I could see Ty just wanting to get the battle done. Skitto with the choice scarf, bullet seed, probably for sub, horn leech, stomping tantrum for these, maybe even Terra or this, Terra Blast, dragon to just hit stuff. Okay. Star U with the boots to get off the spin, dazzling gleam to hit stuff like maybe, I don't see it off the team, but maybe this. Since it does resist the Scald and the Ice Beam. And then we have Blade with the Lumberry, Clutch dude. Dual Dark type moves with the Bring Break for the Sandile. Great done. Well done. And let's see MJ's team here. Padme, Heavy Duty Boots, Fury Attack, High Speed with the Defog U-turn Roost, pretty standard. Chewy, Choice Scarf, throwing off damage. And then we have Luke with the Boots, Glare, Lead Seed, Protect Energy Ball, Jabba the Hutt, Leftovers, Modest Nature, hitting off with the Scald, Volt Switch, Heal Bell, pretty smart just in case like Toxic goes off there, or even T-Waves, Ice Beam. Qui-Gon Jinn with the Eviolite here, Shield Dust on their Terra Ghost, Mischievous, which can't Terra. It did have the Will-O-Wisp, it did have the Taunt, it did have the CM Hex. So this is pretty good on Ty's part to prep for the Taunt with the Mental Herb, or even an Encore. Anakin, Sandile, Jolly Nature on a bulkier variant here. With the Spidef investment. Taunt, again, very well prepped. Stealth Rock, Crunch, Earthquake. So if they were to get up Stealth Rock, this would have another turn if it was in the lead matchup. So I love this match. Pretty dominant. Pretty well prepped looking at these paste. And let's move on to the next. Okay, quick disclaimer, we only have 7 games today because of reasons. Am I right about that? Yeah, I think it's only 7 games. So this should be a shorter video, and I'm telling you like maybe halfway through. So let's see what we do with this, looking at Duvy Dude. Duvy with their SupaSkittyStyle team and Unburdened signature ability has a lot of threats here. Damn damage can be done, but I think Flames has a pretty great core in the form of Stamina Piplup with Eviolite, Terra as well, and Grimer, and some pretty hard hitters. So we see everything Terra here, as well as Piplup being Terra Flying. I can see Terra Flying being for maybe to resist some fighting moves off of this. Other than that, Earthquake. Still weak to electric moves, so I don't know if we see something like Electro Ball from this, or even T-Punch if it has it. And we know Skitty has everything in the book. As far as leads, I could see Minccino or Sneasel here to combat their leads here. I can't see. I don't know. Let's just check it out. And yeah, Sneasel is scary because it has Gorilla Tactics, as seen here, Monkey Mode. And we have the leads Score Bunny and Minccino. So I called that one right, and half of that one right. So the U-turn, Minccino is faster, and it has the Guts proccing off of the Flame Orb. Now we have Flare Blitz doing almost half, and U-turn. So I probably would have just double hit that. That could die, but Analytic was probably the reason why it boosted, but Psych neutralizing gas. It has neutralizing your ass right here, so clearly. This is giving Earthquake, no switch-ins to that necessarily. So this could either Dragon Dance. This might have Clear Smog or Haze. I don't think it has Yawn. It could also try to get off of status if it stays in. Otherwise, this is a scary turn here. So good U-turn. It does have Rest, and it does have Chesto. So Resto, Chesto, off the Dragon Dance. This gives that it's gonna curse or boost or drop your boost. So it's pretty even. This is getting scary for Duvy. Crit could come in, and the way it's spamming Dragon Claw, I don't see Earthquake. Drain Punch is very good to keep it healthy. And I believe Bruce gets dropped by the almighty Grimer. RP Bruce. So the switch out into Terra Blast, it just took that very well. Probably expecting the Dark type move, and then Fresh Nut gets hit by the... That's funny. Fresh Nut, Gooey. Crazy. The Gorilla Tactics boosted knockoff, and it's given choice band. Swords Dance here versus the Baby Doll Eyes. So if you don't know, Baby Doll Eyes is a +1 priority attack drop move. Drober don't care, so I would start hitting this or switching out, but I don't think you really have any good switches. This is very much high pressure on Duvy, because I don't think Drober is threatened by Fresh Nut. That's a phrase I never thought I'd say. But the Gooey comes in. So, all right, this is a funny. This is funny. I can see this just taking it out, because you can just overwhelm it with the SD. And then you take the one hit off of Gooey, but you have to make physical contact, right? Yeah, that's where the Rapid Spin came in. So I don't see this getting +1. This could very well get Revenge killed. Yeah. So this stays neutral the whole time in speed. However, this could keep boosting. Fresh Nut has to keep hitting it with that Gleam. Okay, so they take the kill early there. And that drops. I can see it fake out, but no fake out from Goten, who's from the hit anime Bleach. Trailblaze. And oh, unfortunately, you are not faster. 251, 258. So Earthquake drops that. Just being +1 has been enough to take out the rest of Duvy's team. So Flames picks up a 6-0 there. So Flames picks up this 6-0 there. Drober dropped a lot. Let's look at Duvy's team here. Well, Flames, I lied. Hiding the stats, we got Mencino with the Flame Orb, Triple Axle, Protect, U-Turn, Play Rough. Then we have Piplup, Eviolite, stayed in the back, Whirlpool, Toxic, Protect, Roost to drop something probably bulkier. Something like the Milcery in this matchup. Grimer with the Chesto Resto, Poison Jab, Drain Punch, Heal Up, Neutralizing Gas, Choice Band, Guerrilla Tactics, just click, 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 Brick Break to hit likely any Steel type if in the mix, or get rid of screens. Ice Shard to take out anything boosted in speed like that. Drober, Eviolite, Unnerved, you don't eat your berries, but I will drop your Mons. Earthquake, Swords Dance, Rapid Spin, Rock Slide, Pancham, Mirror Herb, likely to catch the Tyrant, or maybe this if it boosted. Parting Shot, Sword Stance, Drain Punch, Stone Edge. Alright, let's look at the other team. So we have Pan with the Salic Berry, Calm Mind, Hyper Voice, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, so a special variant, Terrastellar, Bruce, Tyrant, Eviolite, Dragon Dance, Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, Crunch, no EQ, Fresh Nut with the lefties, Full Defense, Aromatherapy off of Gooey, Dazzling Gleam, Baby Doll Eyes, I love that bring, Recover, Gibberish, Choice Scarf, pretty standard set. Then we have Ankle Biter, the Score Bunny, Eviolite. That's two Eviolites. Flare Blitz, U-Turn, Assurance, pretty dope. Based off of the analytic, that means you go last, I think, or am I thinking of Payback? Either way, pretty dope. You get double boosted attack there, and then we have Rest. So Rest pairing with the Alchemy Aromatherapy is very nice there. And Goten, Citrus Berry, Bulk Up Tea, Blaze, Drain Punch, Knockoff. So pretty dope set, pretty dope game. Let's move on to the next one, game 5. Alright, hopefully y'all can't hear my pressure cooker in the back going off, but yeah, just made some video on this lovely Saturday, the 13th. Alright, so I also have a game later. Speaking of me having a game, I have a game versus Maddie in her Hungry Transfem team with Technician versus my 7-star Strikers and Fur Coat. So looking at their Terra types here, they have Terrastellar, Trap Pinch, and yeah, this is just a placebo or a facade. This doesn't Terra. So they have a very ice weak team, fire weak team, but that doesn't mean take them lightly. The team can be very tricky, so I definitely wanted to respect that. So as far as leads go, I could see them leading any one of these really. Maybe not coughing in the back, possibly. Oh my gosh, it smells so good in my house, y'all. But yeah, everything could definitely be a threat, so I do want to take respect to that. So let's go ahead and play this game, and I'll give you a rundown. Alright, so Sano-Saiban, I have this Sash. I did want to go some other sets too, but I believe I had Sash. I didn't expect this to be the lead. This is the lead that I didn't want the most, but I just thought to taunt it to make sure it doesn't do anything crazy. So Sludge Bomb lets me know that that is not max special defense. It is already high special defense, but it lets me know that is a little softer than expected. So I try to get off a Sludge Bomb and 2 to get off like a poison. But this is good damage for me. I let that go down just for me to scare that out. So I come in with this and I try to swagger, I miss, and I get the swagger off again to get that confusion into my self boost. So you're confused, you have +2 though attack, you can make use of that, right? So yeah, this is gonna want to set up a screen, but it sets up the wrong screen. Unfortunately, Maddie might have flubbed. If this is dual screens and you see I'm +2 in attack, you can kind of tell that I might want to go for attack since I proc my mirror herb there. So that might cost Maddie here. So I hit off the frustration, and that is super effective because I have the refrigerate ability coming off that base 1-0 whatever it is frustration. Boosted with the frustration, the refrigerate, it's like 120 something maybe, I don't know. But either way, that drops. Toxic debris are up. This is my only spinner, so I don't feel like a winner. However, I had to protect just in case of the first impression, and Trap Pinch goes for the EQ. So I wanted to respect it, especially if it's Stellar Turret. I get the other one-hit KO off of that. The Aftermath procs, another one-hit KO off of that. And then I have Supercell Slam, very risky, and I get dropped in speed. So I think F it. And they go Destiny Bomb. I'm guessing they thought they were faster, and they also thought they would die. But however, I am too fast. So I get off of frustration, right? And then if I hit them again, I die. So that was a pretty good move, but I had to protect here. So throwing on protect on my Shock It here was very clutch. So Shock It is gonna sock it, and it's gonna drop it after this frustration. And the same thing happens to Katini here. Spoiler alert. So the pause was from the Solid Rock. I did expect Psychic Surge since I do have the Surge Surfer and Electric Surge. But yeah, Lekid, Shock It, boys got swagger. So everything else just watch. RP Tentacle, but you told me that it was cool to know what this was in terms of its build. So pretty dope match. I got pulled off some heat. Stunner Die Academy, you know, soda popping, other teams dropping. Let's look what Maddie has. So Maddie brought choice specs. So if you looked at turn 1, I did taunt it, and then it switched up moves. So that let me know that I had no idea this was choice specs until, you know, I saw the paste. So this is pretty dope. Tailwind to boost the speed of their team, likely the Trap Pinch or other things they might have wanted to get off. So good on me to have taunt and even choose to click it, knowing that, you know, it has Air Slash or Ice Beam. But yeah, the Sash definitely helped me out. Tangling Hair came in clutch for them, but not too much, unfortunately. Trap Pinch, Eviolite, Aftermath, Stellar Terra. It did have the first impression. I don't know why it wasn't clicked, but however, it did not matter. Nonetheless, Chikorita, like Clay, it did have both screens, and this could have very much been a different game. Granted, I would have had like neutral attack into their team if they got up Reflect versus like a -2 drop. So it could have went either way. Toxic Debris got up, so it did its thing, as well as the screen. Coughing had a good amount of HP. Destiny Bond, Sledge Wave, Flamethrower, Protect. I doubt I would have dropped it if it was 0 HP, because this thing is still bulky and physically bulky. But yeah, still a threat. Always have to respect. Let's go to next. Katini, Eviolite with the Elite Seed Encore, Dazzling Gleam, Taunt, Solid Rock, bulky variant to hit in the special attack department as well with that Gleam. And then we have Zoom Lens Bulbasaur with Victory Star, bulky variant, hitting off of that special attack though, so tankish style. Sleep Powder, super accurate, intentionally slow with the IVs being dropped. Protect, Leech Seed, Sludge Bomb. And if you want to see my team, watch the damn video. Alright, let's move on to the next game. Alright, game number 6, and we're shitting bricks. I'm just kidding, I did not eat yet, so no bricks have been shat. However, bricks can be shat in this battle because we have 2 of the same mon basically. We have Shell Smash, we have Shell Smash, we have Terra, we have Terra, we have Opportunist, we have Opportunist. This could be a very funny game. Talking about their Terra types too, we see Cuffin brought. I think this is the first time. I believe this was a trade as well. So we have Fairy Terra on that. Good move to dampen the damage from fighting types. And you probably won't see a poison move into its steel typing. So safe to Terra. And then we have fighting. So we can expect like an Aura Sphere. And then we have ground here. Ground to hit the Grimer likely, since it is a dark type, being a Alolan Grimer. And yeah, I don't know who's gonna win here. Tails is considered among the group as a sweat, and this team has been making other people sweat. So the battle of who's gonna sweat versus who's gonna sweat. Let's go ahead and play. I didn't want to really talk about a lead because no telling. And look at this, straight up. So this is scary because one of 2 things could happen. This could have switched, got the free boost, as well as this having a sash. This could also have a sash, but we know that this is also faster. So this could be bulky, but it doesn't matter. Shell Smash just says F all of that. So let's go ahead and see what happens. Good Terra too, into the possible electric attack. And let's see. They do go for Nuzzle, smart move. However, the Terra is there. Mach Punch to get some damage, maybe even break the sash. Scyther has the Gale Wings. So we see the dual wing beat off of that into the Magnemite, charging it up to the Electromorphosis. Unfortunately, it doesn't stack. Right? This doesn't stack. Good move having the Rocky Helmet. Basically breaking that Gale Wings unless it has Roost. So nothing wants to take an electric type attack from Magnemite. Cuffin comes in, Volt Switch, crit hit. Don't know if that matters. That could have definitely been Specs or whatever, but it's not because we saw the Rocky Helmet. Now we see the opposing Shell Smash into the Toxic. So puts it on timer. Terra Blast here. This is very specially defensive. It's also given Eviolite. And that Terra Blast fighting, because I mean, you have Aura Sphere, which is the better move since it is 90 base power, and its added benefit, while Terra Blast is 80 base power. But the opposing Terra Blast fighting could have been into Mr. I, maybe? I don't really know. But I guess, yeah, I don't really know what that one was for. So help me out if you maybe have an idea. So the Gunk Shot comes off, the -1 defense makes it take it like it's a hell of a lot. In the flip turn. So Glort, go ahead and drop the Squirt. And the matchup again into my Mr. I and Scyther, but the CC drops you. And from 3 hits of the Rocky Helmet, Scyther's at like half. So we see Kitsune come in here. I'm guessing it's a Scarf variant. It does have the Drought. So we may not see Inferno, but we could very well see something like Overheat if it's Scarf, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, and this is giving Eviolite as well. So we see the Weather Ball. Good move. Does half. Gets out of there. Rest. We see another resting Grimer this week. Are they in cahoots? Flip turn to chip it out. Taking less damage since it is in the sun. And Bird Up gets knocked off the Choice Scarf. Head Smash does almost death. Knockoff again. That knockoff is doing some damn damage because it is dark type. Dragon Claw to drop it into a deeper sleep than it already put itself into, and Chingling comes in. We see Dragon Dance. Chomper probably doesn't seem threatened. Double Dance to say F that screen, but Chingling is basically Double Dance too. The screen being like an Iron Defense pseudo. CM, I don't think this gets Draining Kiss. That Dragon Claw just now hits the half point mark, and this is dope. Vessel Ruin as well. So Kitsune with the Healing Wish, likely for the Sinisty. I don't think it takes it well, unless it's like Sash, and it is Sash. However, I don't know if it's enough to take it out. So special attack is hitting off of that. It is super effective. Dual Wing Pete. Whoa. Okay, so that's Scarf. That was very smart. Very smart by Thorson and his Manic Mudkips with multi-scale and sheer force off of Tails here. Fennekin Firestorm. So this was a great game. This was a very great game. Capital GG's in the chat. Let's look at Thorson's team here. Scyther, Choice Scarf, CC, U-turn, knockoff, dual wing beat with the Gale Wings. So that gave me a false sense of security that, you know, it wouldn't be Scarf, being that your priority Gale Wings. But that was very good. I'm pretty sure Tails felt confident they got that since they got the +2 in the speed. But very good prep. Opportunist, Mirror Herb. That's so funny. That's so funny. It doesn't necessarily work like that where you will double up, but I mean, maybe prove me wrong. So I think it would be better to have Aura Sphere here because it is 90 base power last time I checked. So Checkers, it shell smashed, it did something, but Glort took that down. LAX, Black Sludge, Merciless, Toxic, Sleep Talk, Knockoff, Rest. This was doing some crazy damage. I don't remember if it got any Toxic off, which it didn't, but it was doing some crazy damage off this 16 attack. Careful Nature. Luling here with Leftovers had the multi-scale, which was very good. It definitely would have had me thought it was taking the game. But that was very good on Tails' part to Healing Wish. So I definitely love this game. I will come back to watch this game. Unite Queen, Eviolite, Sticky Hold so you don't take off its Eviolite, Fake Out, Nuzzle, Encore, Mach Punch. So this is pretty good anti-Sinisty stuff. They kept countering each other. I love this game. So much came into play, I think. Because Nuzzle would have paralyzed this, even though this had Healing Wish in the back to like drop its status condition. Like if you encore, that means you're catching something Dragon Dancing, maybe Shell Smashing, Fake Out, Mach Punch, Double Priority, Max Special Attack, and some bulk. I love this. Fantasia here. Eviolite, 1, 2. Okay, 2. Alright, Body Press, EQ, Rock Slide, Terror Blast. I love this set too. Hits hard, ends up bulky. So, Kitsune, Choice Scarf, Weather Ball, Overheat, Call to Overheat, Energy Ball, Healing Wish. This was great set. Great set. Came into play for the Focus Sash and the Opportunist, because we thought this might have been down and out, right? You already popped your cherry in the Shell Smash, you're pretty much good. But the I can't say how much I love this game. Shadow Ball, Terra Blast, Ground for things like Grimer, since it is Dark type, Cuffant as well. Stored Power, Terra Blast. Glort did damn work. Gunk Shot, Flip Turn, Toxic. Did the whole 9 yards on that Squirtle. Chomper, Axew, Eviolite, Vessel of Ruin to dampen the special attacks. And this was a good head-to-head versus the opposing Chingling, which has Psychic Surge and Berserk. Bird Up, Choice Scarf did damage with the Head Smash. The Wing Beat switcheroo. This could have been very well the lead for like Scyther. Let me see. What was the lead? Okay. So, pretty interesting lead too. And I believe that was it, right? Mr. I, Rocky Helmet did work. Volt Switch, Flash Cannon, Thunder Wave, T-Bolt. So yeah, they prepped very well against each other here this week. Definitely my game of the week so far. Well, I mean, I would say I take Heat of the Week with the Swagger play, but yeah, game where it just goes back and forth and you see very competitive or well thought out sets between the two, and it's just a back and forth. Yeah, that was a great game. Next game, last game. All right, we have Pizza Herald, Ditto's Dreams, sorry, and Purifying Salt versus Potato Soup in their Richmond Dudunsparce with Serene Grace. Last game again, and then we have Terra Normal for the Dratini here, for E-Speed, of course. And Solosis with the Fighting Coverage Terra. Likely to have Terra Blast. On the opposing side, we have the staple Terra Grass on Cyndaquil here. Likely Choice Scarf, likely Terra Blast for the coverage. I could see a lead of some interesting stuff. This definitely guaranteed lead, or this versus maybe this could be Scarf this week to hit it before Snow gets up to boost its defense. Maybe even Scarf this. I think they have the speed advantage until, you know, some boosting stuff happens. So let's see what happens. So I do call the lead. Let's see if I call it Scarf. Okay, we have Fake Out, so likely not Scarf. You get off the Toxic Debris because it has Trace. And then we have the Snowscape, so hazards go up, screens go up, that stays up, and another T-Spike. So possible freeze, but good damage nonetheless. And I think this hit a good amount of its moves. Last move, probably Encore. So we do have the Trailblaze. It's now +1, but you're not fast enough. And then we have Gummy Worm Doom. So that might have been an intentional sack, just in case that is, well, that very much is Scarf, based on the Trailblaze +1 and being outsped. So that was good confirmation, even letting that go down, because you might want HP on this and this. So we have Toxic Boost, giving Dratini a more scary presence. So it can boost here very well. And no dragon type attacks are gonna go into that. So we see the first Dragon Dance into the Terra Facade, doing half behind the screens, and Play Rough returning the same amount of damage, even though it's not super effective. So Facade makes that drop. Next turn that drops, and Mudkip comes out to take the next Facade. Likely a sack, because you don't want these other presences getting hurt. So now we have Who Needs a Leak getting Toxic with the CC, drops it, and that is very much, did I call it again? It is Scarf. All right. This keeps getting crits. It's so funny. If you look back on a lot of its games, this name really puts into perspective, like, who really needs a leak? Because we know this is Scarf. So -1, and this hits harder. Yeah, you're dropping. Noted. So Grass Terror comes out to avoid the water type KO, but we see the Shell Smash come up. Are you fast enough? And it is Poison Jab for the grass coverage. Pretty great. This could very well have Sucker Punch, which it does, and it drops it. But this could also be Banded. Trick Room. So Pizza Hero might also note that too. Sucker Punch spam, but yeah, that just takes it out regardless. So great last game. Pretty close. Let's take a look at Soup's team. Alright, so Swirlix with the Eviolite, Effects, Spore, Sticky Web, Wesh, Belly Drum, Play Rough. And even with that non-invest off of the Adamant Nature, that did half to Dratini, so that was pretty great. And we know it's not Eviolite because Toxic Orb. Diglett, Choice Band, called that. Sucker Punch, Jolly Nature, Hitting Hard, very scary, Revenge Killer, possibly. Mudkip, Eviolite with the Counter Liquidation, Avalanche because negative speed. Body Slam for Paras. Protean as well. Flamore Glimmet with the Rock Polish Subway. Alright, Eating Fresh off the Power Gem, T-Spikes, Rock Polish, and Sludge Wave with the +1 if flare boosted. Scary Mon. Then we have Choice Scarf, Adaptability with Terra Grass, as we did see, with the Terra Blast, as we did see. Eruption, Flamethrower, and Extrasensory. I can't make the bars up. Well, I mean, I am, but they just come like that. Vulpix, Focus Sash. With the Trace ability, got up those T-Spikes. And it's so funny that they both have Toxic Debris, I believe. No, I'm a liar. Just that. But they both wanted Toxic Spikes up. So I'm pretty sure Potato appreciated pizza on that one. And I called this set, got up the screens, but unfortunately did not do much for it. Then we have Gummy Wormer, Doom, Toxic Orb, Facade, Dragon Dance, E-Speed, Waterfall. So that Terra Normal doing overtime for the Facade and the E-Speed. Rachi Blossom, Loaded Dice, Rock Blast for something like a lead of this, maybe? I could see the Rapid Spin turn 1 into Rock Blast, however they led, what did they lead? They led Berserker, which could have also had a different outlook. What were those first couple of turns? So we saw Fake Out turn 1, right? That got up its T-Spikes. So maybe there, maybe here I would Trailblaze, get off some extra damage, and then drop it before screens get up. Because you're already guaranteeing you get up both spikes, and you clearly don't care. However, yeah, this could have just stayed out and maybe got up T-Spikes on the opposing team or just being alive. But I guess it didn't matter since you got up rocks and you let this die either way. Okay, so let's go back and look at Pizza's team. Where would we fall? Blood Dice, Gooey Solosis, Boom Boom Boom, Hard-Headed Meowth, Galar, F Sash, Focus Sash, Fake Out, Stealth Rock, Ironhead, Boom Boom Boom. So you can't really hit the Cyndaquil as hard as you wanted to anyway. But damage is damage. So maybe 2 Trailblazes. So Fake Out, double Trailblaze, Ironhead, just in case you did think that was Scarf. But you also wouldn't have the information that it was, since it wouldn't have outsped you. So either way, still good plays. I think you still did the right plays. Chomp Chomp, White Herb with the Shell Smash, Stomping Tantrum, Poison Jab for coverage, Waterfall. Pretty great. Who Needs a Leak with the built-in crit possibility, Choice Scarf. I think I called that on team preview. CC, Jab, Knockoff, Body Slam. So a great couple of games this week. And we move on to week 5. We will have a new coach replacing our very own Lucky, and that coach will be revealed next week. Great games. I love when you guys leave comments, give me some insight. And unfortunately, I don't really have much cooking for my game coming up later today. Excuse me. So yeah, that's all. Later, losers.